We're back. Bluegrass Basketball Hour. I think it's week 8 of our podcast, and we are live again. We're at Powell County High School this week. Coach Fraley was nice enough to let us sit up in front of his trophy case here and record this week's show. We've got a lot to share with you, so John's going to get us started.
What's up, everybody? It's that time of year, Kayla.
I know.
The regular season is over.
This is my favorite time of year.
Everybody's 0-0. Except for certain people get mad when you say
I know. People are joy stealers across the state.
They're probably watching though, so keep tuning in.
Yeah, keep tuning in.
Doing something right if you're hating.
But you're not going to steal my joy because I love the postseason more than probably anybody in the whole state of Kentucky. So
it's a big time of year, you know. It's everybody gets a chance. You know, district tournament. I think you talk about the biggest days in the tournament. I think the opening night of district tournaments, those 2-3 games, and then your semifinals of your regional tournaments are really big nights around the state. So that's upon us.
Now we're 2-3 games.
Our 2-3 games that we shouldn't have, according to some people.
Right.
So, you know.
But
anyway, it is that time of year.
It is. So, who do you look to make some noise next week?
I mean, I want to talk about the big 2-3 games that stick out to me. And we've talked about some of these before throughout the year when we were talking about teams winning and losing games and where that put them in the district. But starting out west in Western Kentucky, we've already talked about it once, but you know, Hopkinsville and University Heights will play.
That'll be a good game.
Be a great game. You know, University Heights won both times during the regular season, close games. So Hopkinsville has finally gotten all their guys back that had missed out earlier in the year due to some other stuff.
Right.
So you've got, you know, Jalen Johnson and Shorty Cager out there playing for Hopkinsville. Obviously, you know, Kiki Tandy and Hollowell out there on University Heights. So a lot of talent on the floor in that game. I think it comes down to the wire. And, you know, I think I'm going to go with Hoptown.
Are you?
I think they're finally full strength. It's hard to beat a good team 3 times.
It is.
Their record's deceiving. A lot of people don't know. Like, their 2 best players practically didn't play more than half the year.
Right.
So they've been back now about 3 or 4 weeks, getting their basketball legs, getting their, you know.
You think they're, well, I mean, they're athletic players.
They are.
The whole conditioning aspect of it is really not an issue for them.
I don't think that's as much an issue, but, you know, getting that team chemistry back and you know, Coach Hayworth does a great job. He's been in the state tournament a handful of times, been in the semifinals a couple times. So I'm going to go with what I guess by seeding would be an upset, but in my mind, I think if the playing field's even and Hopkinsville has their whole team the whole year, I think they are the better team. So now, having said that, the best player plays for University Heights. So in a one-game situation, one guy can carry you and get you, you know, past that. So Kiki, we've talked about before, you know.
And he's good enough to do that.
He's definitely good enough
Especially
to do that.
if he just turns on.
Right. And the style that both those teams play, you know, that's not going to hamper Kiki. It's not, you know, Hopkinsville, and I give a lot of credit to Coach Hayworth. They're just going to sit down, they're going to guard you. They're going to press you, and they're going to do some other things, but in the half court, they're going to guard you. And, you know, a lot of guys around the state, you know, they want to go jump defense on good players. They're going to zone, and they're going to sit back, and they're going to make you shoot shots from outside. But, you know, Hopkintown, they're just like, here we are, this is what we are, come get you some. So
they play a lot of man.
They do. They play a lot of man, you know. So I'm a big proponent of that. I think kids at the next level get better by playing man-to-man in high school, because I see a lot of kids that are great high school players, but they play in a system, and they play a lot of zone defense, and they get to the next level, and you can score all the points. You can score all the points you want, but if you can't guard somebody, they're not going to play you. Right. So, you know, I look at guys that play man-to-man. I really like that.
I think a lot of kids end up with that culture shock too.
Yeah.
Because they're, you know, in high school you don't see a lot of man-to-man defense.
You don't. You see. And I have no problem with you game plan to win a game, and you switch things up, and you might start man and go zone, or you might, you know, move it around. That's fine. You got a coach to win the game, and I get that. But I think it's important for some of these guys we look at that play at the Division I level coming out of high school. They got to be able to guard. Yes. And you know, and I can just say this, and I know I talk about it a lot for obvious reasons, but one of the main reasons that Tavion broke that starting lineup at Western, you know, from day one until now, because he can guard. You know, and so obviously everybody knows you can score, but can you do the other thing? So, you know, playing defense is a big deal at the next level, and that's something that they do down there at Hopkinsville. And so, Coach Hayworth, I give hats off to him.
It's cliche to say it, but defense really does win games.
Oh, there's no doubt.
So
you might have one, like I said, you got a great offensive player that can carry you,
score more than everybody else
in a one-game setting. But over, like, if you want to win a tournament, you want to be a regional champion, you got to be able to guard. You got to be able to guard. You know. So, but having said that, I'm gonna go Hoptown to to break it and to beat Heights for the first time.
Well, you know, it could happen.
It could, and I wouldn't be surprised if Heights won.
I wouldn't either, and I would love to see Kiki in the state tournament.
Well, you know that you got to do more than just beat Heights.
I know. So that would be a long road for him, but it would be awful to see him go down first round because then it's just like, man, one of the best players in the state.
Hey, it happened to us last year. You know, Tavion we got beat the first round. He had 45 points, but we lost by 4. So you know it happens, but hopefully, you know, it won't be the last time we talk about Kiki.
Right.
We got another year. Moving towards the Louisville area, you know, we talked a little bit about this last week. Valley, PRP will play. We're going to talk about our KAVC coaches and players of the year a little bit later, but Valley has a kid, Kurt Lewis, who is the 6th region, senior player of the year at KAVC. So, you know, like I said, DeJuan Wheat's the coach. PRP, you know, great coach. You know, Dale's been coaching forever and a day. He's got a lot of wins. They've won a handful of regional championships, and they've got 2 guys that are really good that can really score the ball. So, you know, that'll be a good game. It's at Valley. We talked about that last week, but that's one in Louisville I look at, and it's like, you know, one of those 2 teams is probably good enough to get to the region semifinals, but one of them's not even going to be in the region tournament at all.
Right.
So, you know, that game I think will be good. I don't really know. I don't know who I would go with. I think it's a toss-up. I think PRP might be a little better, but it being at Valley, I think kind of
it's going to make a difference.
Things out across the board.
I'm going to give it to PRP. So
I think just based on experience, I'm going to give PRP just a slight edge. But it's another one of those things like I really wouldn't be surprised if.
Well, anything can happen when you host the district.
Right. Exactly. So, and then moving on up in the Lexington area, we've got 2 that I really want to talk about: Bryan Station, Henry Clay, in the 42nd. You know, we talked about that some this year too, and that the game's at Frederick Douglass, so neutral court per se, I guess.
I expected so much out of Station this year.
Well, they started off great. They had a great start to the year.
But I think they started off too hot.
Sometimes that happens, and you get a lot of momentum going, and you just wonder what's going to happen when you finally hit that wall.
Right.
They hit that Scott County wall, and kind of just Henry Clay's playing really, really good. They beat Madison Central. They beat Clark. They beat us this week.
Where is their district tournament at?
Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass. Yeah. So Henry Clay's playing really well. If they shoot the ball the way they shot the ball against us, they were like 11 of 19 from the 3 against us.
Crazy.
So if they shoot the ball like that, Station's in trouble.
Well, if you shoot the ball like that every night, you can beat anybody.
Right, so I agree. But I think once again, Bryan Station's got the best player. I think Eric Boone is the best player on the floor when those 2 teams play. The one thing that I look at,
Eric Boone is just so legit.
He really
is
legit. I worry. The thing that bothers that if I'm Bryan Station, that worries me is Clay's got some size. Henry Clay's got a couple. They got 2 or 3 big kids that can really, cause problems in the post. And Bryan Station really, you look out there, they're playing 5 guards. They get after you defensively, and that's kind of what they've been built themselves on doing that. But I think it goes down to the wire, and I don't want to make a pick because I know both coaches very well.
Well, we'll just say good luck.
Yeah, I don't want to pick against one of them. So, but yeah,
I mean, that's fair. They're that even. So good luck. We'll see who comes out victorious.
Another one I want to talk about in the 43rd, LCA and Catholic. Now, LCA is the 3 seed. They lost to Catholic twice this year. Obviously, we talked about last week. Catholic's big kid, Zan Payne went down. He's out for the year, so he won't be playing this game.
I think that's a total change for their.
It changes everything. It changes. It changes.
Change the whole dynamic.
Yeah, I think you got to go with LCA as the favorite in that one. It is at LCA.
Yes.
Now Catholic shoots the ball well enough. They've got about 2 or 3 guys out there on the perimeter that if they're making shots, then they can stay in the game with LCA, and then anything can happen. Coach Salzman has loads of experience. He's been to the state tournament as an assistant, as a head coach, been to state semifinals as a head coach, won a state tournament as an assistant coach. So it's not like I don't expect it to be just LCA just a walk through it. It'll be a game. But I think I'm going to go, and that's a rivalry.
It is.
So I'm going to go with LCA. I think they're coming off a huge win, which we'll get to a little bit later. But LCA for me, I think in that game.
Me too.
I
think I'm with them for.
They're playing pretty good right now.
They are.
So you got anything down? Any big 2-3 games in the eastern part of the state that really?
Not anything really that sticks out to me. Again, I talk about Johnson Central all the time. I can't help it, but they play Shelton Clark first round in 2-3 games. They beat Shelton Clark by 30 points or more both times they met.
Right.
But you never know with such a young team, and the fact that Sean Park has a 6'11" kid, you just don't know what could happen. You
In
can't
one game sitting, you don't.
Right.
You
You
throw
can't
the records out the window.
Right, you can't overlook that, but Johnson Central has the edge because they're hosting it. So, I don't see any real exciting district matchups in the Mountain region. I think that they're pretty clear cut. But like I said, Paintsville and McGoffin County might be a battle. They're 1-4.
Right. Well, and I think
Because McGoffin County has turned on at the right time.
there's some decent 1-4 matchups too.
Yeah.
That we really didn't talk about, but you know, it's to me when we get into football playoffs and you have these first round matchups, you have a lot of blowouts.
Right.
But you don't have that. I mean, you're going to have some blowouts. There's going to be some blowouts
Right.
this week. There's some teams that are just going to be
Well,
overmatched.
your
But I think
4,
there's
your
gonna
5
be-
sometimes ends up being that small,
Mhm.
like, private
in a
school with
in a
100
district,
kids.
yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of good 2-3 games this week. I really do. There is every year.
Yeah.
You know, not just in our big urban areas, and I'm sure there's some that we missed. I just picked out a couple that really stood
Right.
out to me. But there'll be some.
Well, again,
all
we
over
have
the
no
state.
way of knowing everything about everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
we try.
Yeah.
I think we do pretty good.
We do our best.
But
Yeah. So those are the ones that really stick out to me that I think I want to look at as games to try and tune in and see if you can get results or updates and stuff on those throughout the week. So.
I do have some good news for us, though, and I wanted to go ahead and announce it while we were on. You and I are going to be on Cameron Mill's radio show the Sunday before state tournament.
Great. I see your shameless plug right there
I know,
from
right?
Cam.
Yeah, he sent me this shirt this
Yeah.
week. So, well, I mean, I write for him, so obviously I'm on the staff, but I think it'd be good to sit down and talk about.
I like Cam. I obviously know Cam very well
Right.
from my Dunbar days.
It'll be fun
He
to
was
sit
a good
down and
guy,
talk
so.
about, the Sunday before state tournament starts,
Mhm.
who's who's there, what we think is going to happen. And I think that we might even try and go live, between sessions if we can, unless you're there and you're busy,
I'm never too busy for my folks here at Bluegrass Basketball Podcast.
Yes. But
All you people that love us so much.
but we'll try and go live a little bit if we can.
Yeah.
I've been trying to talk to Julian and see if we can periscope some things, but try and get that coverage of state tournament really, really heavily.
I was at we played Frederick Douglass this week early in the week, and after the game, I had a guy come up and say, "Hey, you're that gal," and
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
don't hold it against me. That's me," But he's like, "You guys do a great job."
Did he
So-
ask for your autograph?
No, I don't.
Oh,
sign
you're not
autographs.
that big time yet.
No, I don't. Nobody wants my autograph. But yeah, so that'd be good. I like him. He's a good guy. I've
And
got a
he's
good
hilarious
relationship
too.
with
So I think he'll bring a whole nother level to all the stuff we talk.
Well, it'll be good to have somebody. I think you'll have my back more than yours.
Definitely.
So it'd be.
Cam
we
loves
can
nothing
gang
more-
up on you.
Yeah, Cam loves nothing
Yeah.
more than talk trash to me. So
That's right. So next we'll talk about our KBC coaches and players of the year.
yes,
I'll let you go ahead.
I have the whole list here. Everybody knows that John used to be Coach Chalk's right-hand man, and I've kind of moved into that role with the KABC. This year, we kind of tried to move everything online. It wasn't a perfect system, but I think it was better this year than it had been in past
Yeah,
years.
it was a little bit easier.
And we had 150
We
more
had
people
more
vote.
people vote. I
Yeah.
think this is one thing I want to say before we get into
Yeah.
announcing who were the winners. I saw a lot of criticism this week of the system.
Yeah.
And people, I just want to let everybody know this is a senior only award. Okay, so maybe the best player in a particular region isn't a senior. I
Right.
get that, but this is just for our seniors only.
Mhm.
And I saw a lot of people saying, well, this is a members only kind of deal. Well, let me tell you what it is to be a member. $20. That's it. Or you can pay $100 for your whole
school.
the whole school.
Like
That
you
covers men's and women's
Yeah, you
basketball.
get 5 and 5
And
votes.
this isn't the KABC isn't an organization that is built just to hand out awards and to pat people on the back. We do a lot of things in the community. We do a lot of things with the Kentucky Indiana All-Star Game, East-West All-Star Game, Philippine. I can't say that word, but you know what I'm talking about.
Philanthropy.
That kind of stuff, yeah. Charity work. We do a lot of things that we try and get out there, and I think it's important. As somebody that's a coach, I'm an assistant coach, obviously, but I've been doing this for 12 years now. I think it's important that we have something together as coaches to have our voice heard. Because when we come in as a KABC and we go to Julian Tackett, KHSAA commissioner, and say these are our concerns that we have, it's
It's
easier.
almost like having a governing body.
It is.
of
It's
people
easier to
that-
be heard when we have a whole, organization full of people that do the same thing.
And I think people think that we sit on this money and we don't. You know, the KABC it's nonprofit, obviously,
Right.
and we use what we get from this membership to make sure that we can, you know, give out these awards
Right.
properly. We can, you know, we've taken over this in Kentucky Indiana All-Star game, so we're gonna have to have funding for that. You know, there are people that have to be paid to do our, you know, our bookkeeping, and you know, it's not a waste, and nobody's profiting from all this work that we're doing. If anything, you know, you lose money from all the time.
Here's the deal.
So,
When the voting takes place,
yes.
you know, you can't vote for your own player.
Right.
You can't vote, like, for example, I coach in Clark County. I couldn't vote for anyone from George Rogers Clark to win as a player.
So there's really no shot of nepotism.
And I couldn't vote for our head coach to be coach of the year. That's not allowed. So there's no thing where, like, oh, you know, school A has 8 assistants and school B has 4. Well,
Right.
school A's coach won coach of the year because all his assistants. We can't vote for our own kids or coaches from our school.
Right.
So there's no nepotism part of it involved. I don't think there's any excuse for people not to vote. And, you know, we have members that didn't vote.
Right.
So
they
you know,
paid that money and then didn't vote.
But, you know, just like any other award, it is what it is. This is the KABC's Player and Coach of the Year.
Yes.
Seniors are eligible. That's it. There's going to be a Lexington Herald Leader All-State team. There's going to be a Courier Journal Leader, Courier Journal newspaper All-State team. There's going to be a BluegrassPreps.com All-State team. There's going to be Mr. Basketball. There's going to be an AP All-State team. There's going to be Gatorade Player of the Year. You know, we've had years where the Gatorade Player of the Year and the Mr. Basketball are separate, different people. So I don't think people need to get themselves too upset. Just remember, it's about kids. We're celebrating
And it's about
kids' accomplishments.
As a senior, yeah.
Anyway, I'm off my soapbox now. Go ahead and let us know who won all these.
Okay. I'm just going to list them. I think everybody already knows because the KABC tweeted them out. But Region 1, Jerome Reed, I think he goes by JJ, but
Yeah, it's a Tillman.
Matt Tillman.
Yep.
Region 2 was Atorian Ware, Christian County. I think we all kind of expected that.
Talk about him.
Region 3 is Jacorian Gardner from Owensboro. I hope I didn't butcher his name.
No, that's right.
Okay. Region 4 is Skylar Potter from Warren Central. Region 5, Mickey Pearson, John Harden. 6 is Kurt Lewis, Valley. Yeah. 7 is Jay Scrub of Trinity. 8 is Kobe Penny of Anderson County. 9 is CJ Friedrich, Cubcath. Co-player of the year.
Yeah.
It was Adam from Cooper.
Had 2 in the 9.
Yeah, 2
which
in the
both
9.
of them are very deserving.
Yes, I agree. Region 10, Will Philpott from GRC. So that's
One of our guys.
one of your guys.
Great kid.
He is a good kid.
Really good kid. Yeah.
Region 11, Eric Boone from Bryan Station. 12 had co-players of the year. You had Trevin Faulkner from Mercer County and Stephen Fitzgerald from Pulaski County.
Right.
13 also had co-players of the year. Andrew Taylor from Corbin and Markel Turner of Knox Central. Region 14, Caleb Bonney from Estill County.
We said
15.
a good talk about Caleb Bonney with Coach Fraley. He was giving him a lot of love.
He was. We had 15, Wyatt Battle from Pikeville. 16, Dalton Barnett of Menifee County. So those are your player of the years. I don't think anybody's surprised by this list.
No, and you know, these kids all are now considered finalists for Mr. Basketball. All the kids that we listed will be invited to the Mr. Basketball banquet.
Yes.
Will be introduced. They will be given, you know, they'll call the kids up. They'll give a short biography of who they are, where they're from, what they do, where they're going,
Right.
that kind of deal. And they'll be
They get a
presented.
really nice, if you win Mr. Basketball or Miss Basketball, you get a really nice ring. I mean, it is like the nicest thing that I've ever seen.
Is it?
Yes.
I've seen one.
I,
You
I
have
just,
two.
I just rolled my eyes at him. No,
You're married to one.
but JR does not have the new one. His is like,
That's because he's old.
right, his is like small, and I think it's got like a real blue stone. But they're going back. The Lions Eye Foundation is actually going back and retroactively giving everybody the new ring.
Yeah.
They presented King Kelly with his.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's nice that they're doing that.
Yeah.
But I have not seen a ring for an accolade that nice. I mean, JR's Marshall Hall of Fame ring isn't even this awesome. So,
Yeah, it's nice. I saw Tavion to give it to his mom. Obviously, it's a pretty neat
Yeah.
deal. But his is
That is cool.
it was really nice. They're really
But-
nice. But each player, they get a little
like a
plaque
plaque,
type
yeah.
thing. I think it's like it looks like a piece of the
a floor.
floor.
Yeah.
It's a little, and it's got their name. It says Player of the Year, what region, Mr. Basketball Finals. It's a real nice deal. It's a nice dinner. It's, you know, suit, shirt, and tie.
That's-
I've gone.
That's probably one of my favorite events of the year.
Kayla and JR show up. They coordinate
We
and
match.
dress alike. It's hilarious. But
It's awesome.
But yeah, so it's a good deal. Luckily for me, this will be my 3rd year in a row going.
And I always try to have the best hair in the room,
You
too.
do try to have the best
Yeah.
hair in the room. This will be I mean, I've gone every year, obviously, but this will be the 3rd year that I'll be going with a kid that I coached
Mhm.
that's actually a finalist. So it's a pretty neat deal for me. I like
That's
around
a
a lot of
pretty-
good kids.
That's
so.
a pretty particular thing. I don't know if anybody else has done what you've done as far as like being
Well-
a coach with. We don't know for sure.
No, I don't know for sure. I know
But
I've
coaching
been
3 player of the years.
blessed to be around a lot of talented kids. You know, obviously Darius Williams,
Mhm.
Tavion, and then now Will at Clark County.
Yes.
All 3 great kids, great athletes, great players. So has nothing to do with anything I've ever told any of them about the game of basketball as to why they're there. So
So it's not the John factor.
the John factor is how ridiculous can you act in public when people start talking. So that's the only thing.
I
Like
believe
somebody asked me about Tavion. You know, did you what? How man, you was like? I said, you don't learn anything about basketball from me. You learn how to be a clown from me, but you didn't learn how. You didn't learn
I
how
believe that.
You
I
learn
think
anything about
everybody that's listening
basketball.
believes that too. Well, and speaking of player of the year, I was doing some research because you know I like to get my geek on,
Right.
and I was trying to figure out who had won the most coach of the years.
KBC.
Yes.
Okay.
KBC has been honoring a coach of the year since 1997.
Right.
Player of the year was 96.
Right.
From what I've seen, Greg Todd has won the most coach of the year awards, and he has 7.
Do you know what Greg Todd's doing now?
Is he still coaching?
He is.
I thought so.
You know where? He's the women's coach at Florida State.
Well, there you go.
He was the coach at Lexington Catholic in the 2000s when they were going through all that.
Mhm.
Went to Transy.
He
the
was
girls' coach.
dominant at Lex Cat.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
won the national championship at Lex Cat. He was the girls' coach at Transy, and he got the
See,
Morehead
I
job.
thought he was still at Transy, but
No,
I
he's a
wasn't
Morehead.
sure.
Last year, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, he got the Morehead job. His daughter actually was on the girls' team at Dunbar when I was coaching there, so she's at Morehead now.
Well, the
But,
reason-
he's a head girls' coach at Morehead.
Yeah, the reason that kind of like, I don't know, sparked my interest was I saw how many times that Rodney Rowe had won it. And I was just like,
As a girls and boys, right?
yes. And I was like, there's no way anybody has done it more than Rodney. And then I get to looking, and then Greg Todd, man, just blew everybody out of the water with 7.
It doesn't surprise me.
But, you know, in all fairness, Rodney has won it 5 times as a girls coach and 1 time as a boys coach. So that's pretty cool. That was just my little.
That's a different deal.
That was just my little blip of
Yeah, that's cool.
of research.
All right, and now our coaches of the year in each region.
Let me pull up our list because I sure can't remember all of them. Boys Coach of the Year, Region 1,
I think it's Guy. I think you say Chris Guy.
Chris Guy, Mayfield.
If we mispronounce that, sorry,
Sorry,
Chris.
yeah.
Not personal.
Region 2, Bill McNamara from Livingston Central. Region 3 is Rod Drake of Owensboro. Region 4, William Unseld of Warren Central. 5, Paul Childress of LaRue County. And that was deserving.
Oh yeah, they had a great.
David Hicks is Region 6 from Fairdale. Our boy, Zach Satembre of Louisville Collegiate 1-7.
Deserving yourself.
Deservingly so, but that kind of just shocked me. I didn't think that anybody would give a nod to a school that small. But
He's done some good stuff.
yeah, he is. So, Region 8, Grant Brannon, Walton Verona. Region 9, Coach Sully
Coach Sullivan at Cooper,
from Cooper. That's our boy. 10, Keaton Belcher of Pendleton County.
which is your boy.
Region 11, Tommy Johnson from Bryan Station.
That's my boy right
Yeah.
there.
12, Jerron Dunbar, Somerset.
First year head coach.
Yes, I know.
He's,
Well,
he's done a really good
And
job.
Coach Satembre is too.
Right.
So that you've got 2
Yeah,
so far.
but Jerome was the assistant for Coach Feldhouse at Madison Central for the last couple of years,
Yeah.
so he's done a really good job at Somerset.
Well, he learned from a great one.
He sure did, yeah.
13 is Tony Patterson from Knox Central, who has done a fantastic job.
He definitely has.
I think he's alum. He's alum of Knox
He is, I
Central
believe
too.
that's right.
Yeah.
I give him a lot of credit because he's dealt with a lot of stuff off the court too.
Yeah.
So he's done a really good job.
Region 14, John Bentley of Estill County. 15, Landon Slum of Paintsville. 16, Bob Trimble of Raceland.
And Raceland, he did a really good job.
Yeah,
Bob
and-
Trimble did a really good job.
And I'm going to brag on Landon as well. You know, Paintsville and North Central are rivals, but, you know, Landon has done a fantastic job getting a young team to really just sit down and guard and play hard for him. You know, he doesn't have any kids that really can just automatically score, but
Right.
they play really good defense. And he's just kind of got them to buy into their system, and I think that he deserved Coach of the Year.
All of the guys on that list are very deserving. You know, it's not always about being the best team in the region.
Right.
It's about being who's improved the most, who gets the most out of
Yes.
what they have.
Yes.
You know, so and remember these are voted on by our colleagues.
Yeah.
You know, so if other people you can't, like I said, can't vote for yourself, and your assistants can't vote for you. So
Right.
these are from people within your region
Who respect
that
you
are,
enough
that,
to
are,
give you that
that
vote.
think you've done a good enough job. So I think it's a good list. You know, some guys on there that have done it. This is their first time, and some guys that have been on there before. So congrats to all our coaches and players of the year for KBC.
Well, that's the boys. I want to go ahead and give a nod to all the girls.
Yeah, go ahead.
coaches.
It's the girls too.
Yeah. Region 1, Coach White Faust won from Murray, and he's fantastic.
First year.
Yeah.
This is first year at Murray.
Yes.
They
Region
won all
2.
A.
Yeah, they did. Kiki Radford of Christian County, she, does deserve that. Region 3, Kevin Jackson, Edmondson County. 4, Craig Pippin of Russell County. 5, Donnie Sweeney of Elizabethtown. Donnie keeps in touch with me very regularly. He's very active in the KBC,
Right.
and that's awesome. I like when coaches are, in it with us.
Right.
Region 6 is Larry Just from Butler. 7, Stacy Pendleton, Louisville Brown.
Which Stacy Pendleton was the coach at DuPont Manual
Yes.
State Championship.
Yes.
Now he's at Louisville Brown, which
Yes.
my bet would be that 95% of the people that listen to this don't even know that there's a school called Louisville Brown.
Probably not.
Very small private school in Louisville. Coach Pendleton, the Duke coach. So go ahead.
Region 8, Clay Birdwhistle,
Anderson.
Anderson County. I don't know how to pronounce the last name of Region 9's coach, Joel.
Dixie Heights coach. Good
Yeah.
job for you.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try because I don't want to butcher it. But congrats, Coach Joel. Region 10, Bo Menifee from Campbell County. 11, Steve Helton from Scott County. 12, Chris Souter, Mercer County, and he deserved that greatly. Done a lot of good things at Mercer County. 13, Debbie Green, Harlan County. 14, Mark Cullett of Leslie County. 15, Rodney Rowe, who we were talking about, Shelby Valley. Region 16, Aaron Rayburn of West Carter.
All once again deserving.
Yes, and we'll go ahead and name our girls candidates, and we can talk about, who we think may be Miss Basketball out of this, if you want to lead into that talk.
Yeah, I know who's going to be Miss Basketball. Go ahead.
Okay. Your girls player of the year is Region 1, Macy Turley, who is not Curtis's granddaughter, but his niece. Yeah.
Yes, Curtis's niece. Sorry, Kurt. Don't want to make you older than you are.
Region 2, Trinity Jackson of Christian County. Region 3, Caitlin Simon of Edmondson County. Region 4, Amaya Lacey of South Warren. Region 5, Marley Walls of Nelson County. Region 6, Molly Lockhart of Butler. Region 7, Grace Berger of Sacred Heart.
She's going to Indiana.
I know,
She's a good player. She's a good defender.
yes, and that matters, like we've said.
That's right.
Region 8, Shelby Harmeyer of Simon Kenton. Region 9, Lexi Held of Cooper. Region 10, Taylor Close of Campbell County. 11, Michaela Cecil, Paul Lawrence
I
Dunbar.
want to say one thing about Michaela. She broke the Fayette County Public Schools all-time scoring record this past week.
She did.
Now, public schools, that doesn't include Lexington Catholic or Lexington Christian. The actual, if you take all the schools in Fayette County, the actual record holder is Kelly Stamper
Right.
from Catholic, and she scored over 2,500. But as far as public schools go, Michaela was able to pass that. Now, Michaela only played 4 years. She didn't play up as an 8th grader. So,
And you see that a lot with girls basketball
Yeah.
players, though.
yeah, but Michaela's a great player. She's a great kid. I can speak on that. So I know it's a big deal for her. So she is now the all-time public school scoring leader in Lexington, Fayette County.
Very cool. Region 12 is Segan Robbins of Mercer County. 13, Blair Green of Harlan County. She's going to UK.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Sagan Robinson on the Louisville.
Yes. Region 14 had co-players of the year, Macy Gibson of Owsley and Hannah Cash of Lee County. 15, Summer Rose of Shelby Valley. So you had a player and a coach from the same school in the
Yeah.
girls. 16 had co-players of the year, Madison Darnell Russell and Micaiah Robinson from Ashland. McKissa. Yeah. McKissa Robinson from Ashland Blazer.
You can talk about who I think is going to win this basketball.
Yes.
Sagan Robinson won this basketball.
Okay.
She won the state championship.
So you think it's a lot for her?
I do. I think she'll be. I think Blair Green will have a run at it. She's going to UK. She's a great player. I think Macy Turley is a great player. If Macy Turley was not playing in Western Kentucky, she had a better chance of winning it.
Right. You
But
know how people get behind that mountain kid, though.
they do. But I'm telling you right now, Sagan
Yeah.
Robbins, and I'm not saying anything. I think Blair Green's an unbelievable
She
player.
is.
Really good player. But I think it's Sagan. I think Sagan has had a career that's the only thing left to do for her career.
Right. It's
So-
women's basketball.
I do think that Blair Green and Macy Turley and Grace Berger are right up there. That'd be my top 4. But I just have to give the edge to Sagan Robbins.
Well, let's go ahead. And you said you were comfortable talking about who you're voting for.
Yeah, I
Mr.
put
Miss.
some things.
So-
Josh Moore put out on his Twitter about who the candidates were, and he actually posed a question publicly to everyone: if
Yeah.
you had a vote, who would you vote for?
Right.
And I tweeted back at him
Well,
and
we
said
have votes.
that I have a vote.
Yeah.
And so I would discuss on the podcast this week
Who you're
who I
voting
would vote for and why. And our boy Jason Alexander was all about it. He's like, can't wait to hear it, whatever. So
Right.
this is the way, I do have a vote. To me, it's down to 3 guys for me.
Okay.
It's Trayvon Faulkner at Mercer County.
Right.
It's it's Adam Kunkel at Cooper,
Right.
and it's TJ Frederick at Covington Catholic.
Yes.
I have coached against all three of these kids in their career.
Okay.
I've seen all three of them play up close and personal. They are all three absolutely outstanding players. Trayvon's going to Northern Kentucky. Adam Kunkel's going to Belmont. TJ Frederick's going to Iowa.
Right.
All D1 kids. For me, as a voter, what I look at what have you done this year, obviously, and all three kids have just been, they've been
Phenomenal.
great.
Yeah.
They've been phenomenal all year. What have you done?
If
in
you
your
can't
career?
settle on what they've done this year,
Yeah.
you start looking at other factors.
Right. What have you done in your career? What do you do outside? And honestly, I just say, who passes the eye test for me? Who do I look at that if I could pick one of those kids to be on my team,
Right.
or who is it the one kid that I don't want to have to guard late in the game?
Right.
So when I look at those factors, obviously Adam Kunkel was a state runner-up last year.
Yes.
Trayvon Faulkner went to the state tournament, and if they wouldn't have drawn who they drawn in the first round, he might have been a state champion or a state runner-up.
That's true.
We talked about that. CJ Frederick hasn't been to the state tournament. I believe he was on the bench as a freshman when they went. He was a freshman. They got beat by Owensboro in the semifinals. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much he played, though. They had a good group that year. So,
Yeah.
But for me personally, I am going to vote for Trayvon Faulkner.
I'm with you. That's who's going to get
Because-
my boys basketball
And
vote,
listen,
so.
and it's really close between those three for me. Personally, I think that if I had to pick one kid of those three, and I would take any three of them in a heartbeat, and I don't mean this in any way as a knock on the other two or any of the
The
other
fact that
16
it's so hard to
kids.
decide.
Yeah, this
It
year
says
is
a lot,
really
so.
really tough. It's really tough. I think last year it was I don't think it was tough. People might want to say it was going to be tough,
Right.
but it was done. I think it was
I
done.
think it was a given.
It was a given. It was an easy pick and the right one. But this year it's tough. If any of those three win it, I wouldn't be surprised, and I would
And any
support
of those
and
three would
stand
deserve
up.
it,
They're all
yeah.
deserving. But here's another thing, and this isn't anything that goes into my factor.
Right.
But this is something that goes into the factor of voters across the state. CJ Frederick plays at a private school.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with Covington Catholic. I know you don't.
I love
But
that.
there are people in this state that look at Covington Catholic and they don't like them
Right.
for whatever reasons, and so they're not going to get
I'll tell you what
that
it is.
vote because of that.
People just run under the assumption that private schools have an easier job of recruiting. And
Well, yeah, and you can play devil's advocate on that.
You
can go
can.
both ways.
You can.
I don't want to get into that, but I'm just
No.
saying that is a factor that could
Hurt
possibly
CJ's
hurt
chances,
CJ.
yeah.
And for Kunkel, I think something is, he had that injury a little bit. He missed some games in the middle of the year. But he's definitely going to win too. That's the thing. All three of them are. But for me, I prefer Trayvon Faulkner.
Trayvon's who's
So
getting my vote too.
That's
So-
who's getting my vote.
So let's talk about who is getting our votes for the girls, because I think we're voting for two different people. So
I'm voting for Sagan Robbins because she's won everything. She's been a state champion.
Right.
She's won 4 straight regional championships.
when the
She
nomination
plays-
came out,
yeah.
she was in my nomination
Definitely,
for sure.
yeah.
But like I told you, those mountain people get behind their mountain kids. Blair Green's going to UK. She's from
Listen,
Harlan County. I'm giving her a nod.
let me
and
tell you
she deserves it. Yeah.
If Sagan wasn't on the ballot, Blair Green would be my vote.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to go with Sagan. I think just overall, she's just done so much for the community, for Harrisburg and Mercer County. They, that town. It's real easy to get behind a boys basketball team. Our communities really do. And that's just the way it is.
Mhm.
So you have a boys basketball team that's 15 and 15, and they're going to have more fans in the stands than a girls basketball team that's
Unfortunately.
25 and 5.
Yes.
But those people in Mercer County, they love their women's basketball there.
Oh,
And
they have a
rightfully so,
great-
they've got everything. They've got a lot to celebrate.
Yeah.
If you think, they've been.
They have a great following.
They do.
They always have a good pep section
yeah,
for the girls'
Yeah,
games.
and Blair and Sagan both are great students.
Mhm.
They do a lot of things good in their community around.
Both going to major schools.
Both going to the 2 biggest schools in our state.
Yep.
For me, and this isn't a knock on Harlan County, I just feel like Mercer County has played
Tougher games.
tougher competition throughout Sagan's career, but because they have a better supporting cast, but Blair doesn't have the supporting cast that Sagan does.
Right.
So it's real close there too. I mean, it really is. It's close there, but for me, I'm going to go with Sagan. I've watched her in the state tournament, and she has just produced and made big plays in her career.
Both of them deserving.
Both of them
I'm
deserving,
going with
yeah.
Blair. You're going with Sagan.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
No.
So
Okay. let's talk about some stuff that happened this week. Some games. We talked about our games to watch last week.
Yes.
Let's follow up on those.
Give us a
First
crash
one,
course on
first
Madison
one.
Central. Was that the one you're going to lead
Well,
up
I'm going to go with that last.
Okay, last. Sorry.
I'm going to start off with LCA Trinity.
Okay.
So we talked about LCA. They won the All-A.
Yeah.
They had won 13 in a row, and they lost an overtime game to Catholic. They turned around, and they beat the fire out of Lafayette this week. Then they beat the fire out of Bryan Station at Bryan Station this week. Then they went to Trinity and beat the fire out of them. But they beat by 2 at Trinity. So that's a huge win. I don't think, we talked about how hot Madison Central have been lately.
Right.
LCA is getting there right now, too.
Yes.
They've got that tough 2-3 game we talked about earlier, but LCA is really playing well right now. I think, Jason Alexander made a really good point about this on Twitter this week. When LCA beat Trinity, he said, maybe now people will get off of this state championship game is in the first round of the state tournament, 11 versus 7, because by all accords, and rightfully so, Scott County is ranked ahead of LCA.
Mm-hmm.
But if LCA is good enough to beat Trinity, and has beaten Trinity, LCA is good enough. LCA is good enough to beat Scott County. Will they? I don't know.
But
they're good enough. That's the thing. So it's like what Josh Moore said. He said LCA is good enough to win the state tournament, but are they good enough to win the 11th region? Which is what you get into in the 11th region. So, LCA Trinity, it was a 2-point game and went back and forth. Trinity had the lead at halftime by about 6 or 7. LCA came out in the second half to start the third quarter and hit 3 straight possessions, 3 straight three-pointers, got themselves a lead, and it was 3-5 the rest of the way.
Right.
LCA was up too late.
Kind of a barn burner.
It was. Yeah. LCA was up too late. Trinity ran a play, got a pretty good look down in the paint, and just rimmed out. And so LCA came away with a 2-point win. That's probably the biggest win of the week for me, for anybody.
Yeah.
And considering that their last 3 games have been blowout wins against Lafayette, Bryan Station, then they go and beat Trinity on the road.
Well, they made a statement with that win.
Statement for sure. So they may be the hottest team going into the district tournament this week.
They might be.
So congrats to Coach Valentine and LCA. It's a big win for you. And kudos to stepping up and playing these teams. They had to do it. They did it. So then I want to talk about Fern Creek and Fairdale play.
Yeah.
2 of our teams we talked about in the 6th region all year.
Yes.
Senior night at Fern Creek, emotional night for Coach Schuler and his group of guys that he's had since they were little, freshmen and stuff. So
this has been his group.
This has been his group.
Yeah.
This has been the group they've always talked about. So Fern Creek won 65-62. Now I do know at one point in the first half, Fern Creek was up 17, and late in the middle to late fourth quarter, Fairdale took a 1-point lead. So Fairdale got right back in it,
Yeah.
and Fairdale.
Well, you can't give up.
No, and Fairdale's had a really good year. They got the 1 seed in their district we talked about with Valley and PRP, and they got the 1. So Fairdale and Fern Creek are 2 teams that I look at in the 6th region that can win the 6th region along with Butler and Doss.
Right.
And PRP Valley. All those teams were in the 6th region. So definitely that was a big game. Congrats to Fern Creek. They were at the highest of highs after winning the KOB, and they kind of came down. And now they're back. So starting to even out.
Fern Creek's always in the conversation, though.
They have been since Coach Schuler got the job. They've been in the conversation. So those districts in that regional tournament, the 6th region, are going to be awesome games.
Unreal.
So, but congrats to
So you
Fern
should
Creek.
go if you can.
Yeah, and they host the 6th and the 7th region tournaments. They host the first round games at home sites, and then the semifinals of both tournaments are at Valley.
Yeah.
So go. Watch, you get a lot of good basketball. Two
Yes.
of the better regions in the state of Kentucky, the same site. Definitely worth
Pretty
going
cool.
and
Yes.
seeing. So once I talk about that, that was a really big game. LaRue County, I challenged LaRue County this week because they had 2 big games. They were at E-Town and they played Warren Central at home.
Well, what did they
They
rise?
blew out E-Town.
Okay.
So that's a big win. Now the Warren Central game.
Are you ready to give them a thumbs up for that? Or?
I'll give them a thumbs up.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about the 5th region, but I give them credit. Now the Warren Central game, actually, I was getting updates from my friend there in LaRue and was sending them to you.
Right.
Every quarter was 1 point difference at the end of the quarter. Late in the game.
And I was getting the text. I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, late in the game, Warren Central was down 2. LaRue had the ball with under, I think it was like a minute 15 to go, and
Right.
LaRue tried to hold it. And they turned it over, and Warren Central missed a 3 at the buzzer that would have gave them the win.
Speaking of trying to hold the ball, I want to ask you your opinion.
Okay.
Don't get fired up.
Oh,
Do you want a shot clock?
no.
Me either. Okay. I'm just making sure.
I played in tournaments, high school tournaments, with shot clocks.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that I never noticed, it never made a difference. We didn't have any shot clock violations in the tournament that I was at, the team that I was change the class. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
You know, so I don't want to change it. I don't think we should shut it.
I just know that there will be a lot of coaches that just retire because we
Yeah.
adopted the shot clock.
No, but anyway, so Warren Central missed a 3 at the end there. That would have gave them the win.
Right.
So LaRue, they won 2 big games this week. So they beat somebody that I think was a worthy win, which was Warren Central. So that LaRue John Harden, you know, that matchup, that rematch is lurking
Yes.
at some point in the regional tournament. And I hope, for everyone's sake, that they go on opposite sides of the bracket. I hope that LaRue's on one side and John's on the
Because
other
it really
side.
would suck if they
You don't
did.
want to meet in the semifinals. You want them to meet in the finals.
Think about the crowd that would be there too.
Well, I know the people in Powell County are really pumped up about this team.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm sure that whole
So you're finally giving them some love, right?
I'll give them some love. No, I think they've had a great year. I just wish they would have played. Because I think John Harden has played a really good schedule, and I think that's gotten them. They've lost more games in the group, but I think that when you play better teams, it just makes you better in the
It
long
does.
run. So
It pays off.
it
come the
does.
season.
So, but either way, that's going to be, you know, LaRue and John Harden played early in the year at John Harden, and John Harden won by 20. If they do match up again at some point in the regional tournament this year, I don't expect that to be
Right.
a 20-point game. I think it'll be a couple of
A close
possessions
one,
down
yeah.
the stretch. So, but anyway,
Which are always excited in the
yeah.
preseason.
And then we get to the game that was our game of the week, Covington Catholic and Madison Central.
Yeah.
I watched the game. Madison County Schools actually broadcast the game live through a link. And I watched
Let's first of all let's talk about their student section.
it was awesome.
Oh,
I don't know
well,
if
it was
Cubcats
unreal.
came out. I know I
We
challenged
don't
y'all to come out if they came or not, but Madison Central was awesome. There was a couple times the refs had to back them up while they were inbounding the ball and all that.
They
so.
were not only in the bottom section of the bleachers,
all
but
the
they
way
were
up.
all the way up.
Yeah, it was great. It
Yeah.
was a great atmosphere, and everything I read about it from people that were there at the game, they said the atmosphere was awesome. So, but
I think more people would show up if games were that fun for everyone.
yeah, oh yeah, no doubt. But Cubcats.
So really, it's in the students' hands.
to an extent.
Yeah.
Cubcats start the game out on a 14-3 run.
Yeah.
Got stretched it out a little bit, and then it was a 4 or 5 point game at halftime.
Yeah.
So Cubcats gets off to a 14-3 start. Madison Central got back in the game. Actually tied it a couple times late in the second half, late in the first half, early third quarter, and then CJ Frederick went off, had 33, had 12 in the third quarter,
Wow.
took over the game. So Cubcats ended up beating them 19 points.
Wow.
But the game was a little bit closer than the score indicated. So that was our game of the week. But unfortunately, we're getting kicked out of Powell County High School.
We
So
are.
we're going to end this real quick. I'm going to start. We're going to go with our
Give us
player of the week,
Your player of the week. And then
Mickey
top card.
Pearson at John Harden. Had 24 and 12 in a win over Bullitt East. And then he had 47 points and 15 rebounds against Davis County and did not score in the first quarter. 47 points, second, third, and fourth quarter.
Right.
That's a pretty good day.
So congrats to Mickey Pearson for being the player of the week.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead with my top 5.
Okay.
I've got Scott County, Cubcath, Trinity, Butler, and Lexington Christian.
My top 5 are same teams, a little different order. I got Scott County, Cubcath, Butler, Trinity, LCA. So,
And I think we can end with the fact that today we got to talk to Coach Fraley about Sweet 16 and the classes versus no classes,
right.
and you guys will enjoy what we have to say about that, or what he has to say about that.
I'm Dave Fraley. I coach the basketball team at Powell County High School.
Hey, Coach Fraley, I know that you're a former state champion. 1986, you were at Pulaski, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so is that your favorite state tournament to date?
Yes, it is. 1986 will always be my favorite unless we win another one.
Well, I think that you've got the skills as a coach to do so. So tell me how you feel about the state tournament. We've got some controversy going on about whether we should move to classes, not move to classes. I personally love the state tournament. I think that it's wonderful that Kentucky only crowns one champion. Tell us what your thoughts are.
I agree with that 100%. I like what we got. It's called the greatest high school show in America for a reason. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, when you win that down there, you truly are a champion. I'm against classes. I don't care if they want to splinter off and someone win something, but at the end of the year, I want all 270 in the pot, and let's go see until we get one.
I'm with you on that one. So do you think that it's more special for our kids because we all arrive at Rupp? There's only 16 teams that get to play there. Do you think that that's special to them that they get to play at the same place that Kentucky plays?
I think that's a big part of it, but I also think that the state tournament has its own identity. When you're one of 16 left and you see the 16 colors come into Lexington and the different cheering sessions, and everyone that comes there thinks they got a chance to win that. And that's the special thing. And usually someone that you haven't heard a lot about makes a good run.
Yep.
And it just becomes, someone becomes the crowd favorite, and someone becomes the underdog that almost won. And you go away from there. If you've ever played in the state tournament, you live in someone's memory forever. And if you've ever been there, and I've had 6 teams in the state tournament, and every one of them will tell you their favorite memory of being there. And in playing high school basketball, that is their favorite memory.
Okay. So when you coached at Pulaski County in '86 and won it, were you guys the favorite or were you the underdog?
We actually were rated 6th in the state that year, so we weren't that bad. But no, we weren't the favorite. PRP was favorite, and Owensboro was next. And we were. I hadn't really thought a lot about winning the state tournament. I truly hadn't, because we had Clay County the first game, and when we beat them and we were shaking hands and walking off the floor, Bobby Keith, who was a good friend of mine, just passed away not long ago. He said, Dave, if you get them to play that way 3 more times, you can win it all. And I swallowed a big lump and I said, win it all? That's the first time I've thought about that, Bobby. And he said, well, I thought my team could win it all and you all beating us, so you might all start thinking about that. So that's when I first thought, well, we're pretty good then. But then we had Guy Strong in Clark County the next day, and then we had Randy.
That was a battle for you, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
And we had Randy Emery in Owensboro, and I remember sitting in the bleachers when PRP beat Paducah Tillman about 40 on Thursday night.
Wow.
I said to my wife, unless they play bad, that's the state champion you're looking at right there. And then
And it ended up being you.
it ended up, we got them in the finals, 47-45.
So that was a barn burner. I bet that was a great game to watch.
It was.
Where was that game held at? They weren't at Rupp yet.
Yes, they were.
Were they? Okay.
And Rupp, we came to Rupp in '79. I was in that tournament, and Pulaski played Hazard in the first high school state tournament game ever played in the Rupp Arena.
Gotcha.
And
Now, you said that you kind of hadn't really thought of winning until you won that game. So do you think, like, coming as like a mountain team, you usually are just satisfied with being there?
That's a big part of that.
Yeah.
You have to fight that with your team.
Yeah.
Now, we had been there in '79 and '84 and back again in '86. So we wanted to do more than just play in it.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times it's very satisfying. I remember in '74 when I was here at Powell County and we won a regional tournament, but we played in Freedom Hall then. But we celebrated in this town and county until Tuesday before we played on Wednesday.
That's good.
We were pretty happy.
There's something special about a mountain team. I feel like they always have a really strong following at the state tournament, and the student sections are crazy, and I think that everybody leaves the hometown to go to the game, and basically last
That's
person
true.
out turns the lights off. So
Well, it's an event. I'll tell you, it's like nothing else. And if you ever, people who haven't won a regional tournament, I hope that they get to experience that. My coaching friends that's in it, because it's like nothing else that ever happens to you. And it happens to your school and your town, and then you have a week in Lexington with 15 other regional champions, and you get to wear your shirt that says regional champ, and then one guy's coming out of there with the big one, and that's just really beyond special.
do you personally attend the state tournament every year?
I've gone, yes. I've missed very few.
This is my 12th that I've been to coming up, and I think that's a pretty good record. But I like the camaraderie that you find of all the people that have attended year in and year out. You guys kind of have like a brotherhood. You see people that you haven't seen in years. You all kind of meet there at Hyatt, or you even try to sit together if you can at Rupp. I mean,
And it's what coaches had a good year and what coaches had a bad year, and who's getting fired and who's getting hired.
Right, that's
it's all
kinda-
that stuff that goes on. It is. It's a huge party.
Yeah.
Now that part of it goes on too.
Yes.
For the younger guys, they still do that.
I just think that until you experience that aspect of it, you don't really appreciate it for what it is, because it's a fellowship, and it's also the greatest tournament at the end of the season. I've talked to people in Indiana. They changed the classes a couple years ago,
Yes.
and they regret it. So
Yeah, it was about 10 years ago they
Yeah.
They split up and went to 5, I think. And
I think people compare their attendance to ours and think that maybe that's why they have better attendance, but I don't really think those things correlate. I think that they know that they made a mistake by going to classes because they can't really go back after that.
Right. Well, I think if you won't find anyone that's ever taken a team to the Sweet 16 in Lexington or Louisville that wants to go to classes.
Yeah.
Most of those people, once you play in it one time, you're addicted and you want to get back and try to win the thing.
And I want to say that I do think it is a little harder for a smaller school to make it, but I think it's more special when they do.
That's correct.
You know, just recently as 2010, we had Shelby Valley win the whole thing, and they probably have less than 600 students. So, you know, the argument is that it's not as fair for the smaller schools, but I think it's just 10 times more important when a smaller school does it. So.
I think Shelby Valley's victory did a long way toward keeping classes from getting talked about.
I think so too.
With the champions we've had lately, that's when the class starts talking again. So
yeah, anytime you have a run of Lexington and Louisville schools win it, you're going to have
that's right.
more people.
And that
talk
affects
about
the
classes.
attendance too. I mean, it is what it is. People in the urban areas do not attend the state tournament until the second or third round
Right.
when their team's in it until they see if they're pretty good or not.
Well, last year Doss didn't bring a good crowd at all, and I don't think that's any kind of like knock against Doss. It's just the Louisville teams don't travel as well to Lexington to support their teams, and I think you see a lot of. We talked about this on our show last week. Administrators don't really give their kids a day off to go, and you know. When mountain teams, you kind of have everybody just shuts the whole town down and they go. So that's really why the attendance is so different when you've got those urban areas.
It becomes the part. It becomes the event, and everyone wants to see that once, so they can say. I remember when Elliott County was on a roll over there. I remember they had huge crowds.
When Rick Mays was the coach, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and those are the kind of stories that has kept the Sweet 16 alive for a long time. I mean, of course, Kelly Coleman, you all have done a lot of work about Kelly, and I mean, what a story he was. But going through, even in Western Kentucky with Butch Beard and people like that.
And Corky Withrow. And
Clem Haskins. I mean, you can name people that I saw play in the state tournament, even the Finnegans at Flagey.
Yeah.
When Paul Horning was on that team, but he wasn't the man then. But you see all that, and that stays with you, and that never goes away.
Well, Coach, how do you think that your season has gone so far for Powell County? And do you think that you got a shot at the district championship? I think you do.
I really do.
Yeah.
I think we've got it. I think we've got a shot. We've got 2 hard games to play. I made a hard schedule this year. We played 10 at home and 16 on the road, and we went 6-4 at home, and we went 8-8 on the road, and that's not bad.
But it only makes you better.
Our guys. I told them 2 things when the year started: is you got to learn to live together, and you got to learn to play together. So I think we made progress in those areas, and I think we're as ready as season games are going to make us. So I'm looking forward to next week, and let's get it on and get somebody out of here.
Me too.
To
This,
the state
you know,
championship.
postseason's my most favorite time of the year. So
Yeah.
I appreciate having you on the show. Thanks.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And next week, hopefully by the time we broadcast next week, we will have all the regional tournament brackets drawn out,
Yes.
and we'll be able to talk about that. And so, unfortunately, we got to cut it short a little bit this week.
Yep.
Kayla has some 1,000-point scores and stuff that's on our website. Make sure to check those out.
Definitely. And thanks for tuning in to Bluegrass Basketball.